Hi, I'm Liz Spain. I'm the designer of Incredible Expeditions. It's a card game, the steampunkiest card game ever created. I swear, it's got more steampunks per square inch than any other game ever created. My game is about exploring the world to find Lovecraftian horrors all over the place, and hopefully, if successful, your expedition will end up in Atlantis, which for mysterious reasons is trapped in the ancient ice of Antarctica. Started with the deck builder and went from there. So there are deck building elements in the game. You use deck building mechanics to hire crew onto your ship and to build the supplies you need to go on the expedition. But then once you go on your expedition, the deck building falls back to the wayside and you actually test out the deck that you've built against various encounters against monsters and creatures and betrayals and various horrible things that can happen on your trip. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea meets At the Mountains of Madness.
Alright, dibs.
Red makes it go faster.
In Incredible Expeditions, each player gets to select a character that they want to play as. These characters give different bonuses depending on who they're playing as. For example, Professor Pendergast is a lot better at hand management than any of the other characters, but some of the other characters might be richer, more conniving, more heroic. The numbers on the left of each character card represent their starting values for money, heroism, and skullduggery. Money is pretty self-explanatory. Heroism kind of as well. Skullduggery was explained to me as
sneakiness, cunning, and the ability to solve problems with explosives. Alright, so this is a quick demo. Normally, we go through 2 layers of locations between Port City and Atlanta. To win the game, you must make your way through all the locations, face the encounters there, and defeat 2 encounters at Atlantis and complete the expedition. To kind of represent a first turn of the game.
Normally, you start the game in Port City using your starting deck of 10 resource cards, as well as your starting money and heroism and skullduggery to try and recruit crew. You can stay in Port City as long as you like, but to speed up the demo, we started with 3 random crew members and then continued on.
So all of the crew are 2-sided. They have their refreshed side, they're ready for work, and they have an exhausted side, in which they will do no more for you until they have a nap. When you go to the market, you get to draw 6 cards in any combination of resource cards and crew. And you can buy up to 3. And if your crew is full, you can't buy any more crew.
Okay. Is there any way to get rid of them without, like, killing them? Can I just be like, you're gonna go now?
No, actually, there's a particular crew called the Cat.
Okay.
It's a cat that can harass someone off of your ship. You could also buy a resource card in here called Assassination and choose to assassinate one of your own crew to get them off your ship.
Just in case they really piss you off.
So this is my starting ship and starting resources. I have 10 resource cards, a bunch of money, and I have 4 crew because I start with a gentleman's gentleman. Now I'm going to spend 1 turn at Port City buying additional crew and resources before I head out on my expedition. My character's ability allows me to hire crew 1 less than normal costs, and because we're in Port City, I also get the Port City bonus of hiring crew for 1 less as well, meaning this navigator, which normally costs 3, is going to cost me 1, which is a fantastic deal. To purchase crew and resources, I use my starting resource tokens as well as cards from my hand to pay for everything. I can also use my crew, flipping them over and exhausting them, to use their numbers on their cards as well. Once my crew is exhausted, though, I have to take a rest again to reactivate them.
At the end of your turn, sort of hand cleanup draw phase, the first thing you do is you can choose to sacrifice, like remove it from the game, 1 card in your Pendergast, so you can choose up to 2 cards to sacrifice a turn.
Now that we've covered the deck building aspect of Incredible Expeditions, let's look at the exploring part.
Boom. Alright. The Hanging Jungle.
Oh, that is my engine that fire.
Yep.
I do not like this.
When you explore in Incredible Expeditions, you flip the top card of the expedition deck. My friend Pete encountered engine failure in the Hanging Gardens and needed to resolve it by spending 10 skullduggery and 10 heroism by either exhausting his crew members or paying cards from his hand.
And that gets me the count.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, so your captain's like, I got this.
So when you defeat an encounter, you get to keep it next to you as just kind of a track of your progress.
Okay.
And then you have the difficult decision of do you want to push your luck and go on to a
You
second
zero-
encounter.
Take the encounter, and then you zero out all your temporary tracks between encounters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for my second encounter.
This new encounter adds up all of the skullduggery of all the lost crew in the game and adds it to the challenge of the encounter. We haven't lost anyone in the game yet, so this card isn't that hard right now, but later in the game it would be extremely difficult to defeat.
And exhaust this guy to refresh this guy. And then just go ahead and exhaust him again. I have enough stuff to...
Oh yeah, you got it.
It turns out red is the faster ship, as Pete does make it to Atlantis before me.
To Atlantis!
Pete made quick work of the 2 encounters he had to defeat at Atlantis before, ultimately winning the game. I still say he cheated, what with assassinating half of my crew, but we won't go there. Incredible Expeditions is one of those games that I really enjoyed playing, so much so that I forgot to take a lot of footage, which is why I'm doing voiceovers. It's an interesting twist on the deck builder mechanic because you're dependent on your deck for more than just defeating bad guys and buying things from the market. You're dependent on defeating creatures and moving on. Pete and I only got to play about half of the game, and it was a print and play version of that, but both of us wanted to go home and print and play our own versions to play later.
And also hire any crew who might have just washed up on some random island.
They're usually the best kind of crew, honestly. Crew that you find adrift on a beach or something.
Yes.
Most reliable
Yes,
ever.
that's how I usually hire people.